Hi, I'm Bianca, and this is Flora and Fate, where I take you along to discover cozy, charming towns, scenic escapes, and quiet moments in New England and beyond. We begin at Portland Breakwater Light, better known as Bug Light. Small and elegant, it rises from the edge of South Portland like a monument from another era. Built in 1875, Bug Light was designed during a time when Portland Harbor was one of the busiest ports in New England. Steamships, fishing vessels, cargo ships, all moving through these waters, especially as the city grew into an important center of trade. Unlike Maine's taller and more isolated lighthouses, Bug Light was meant to be precise. Its job was to guide ships into the harbor entrance, helping them navigate safely past the breakwater that stretches out into the Casco Bay. Its nickname came later. People began calling it Bug Light because of its smaller size, but there's something fitting about that name. It feels delicate, almost decorative, even though its purpose was serious. In winter, the lighthouse stands against the pale sky and frozen shoreline, the granite beneath dusted with snow. The bay takes on a muted winter gray here, and the air coming off the water is sharp and clean, the kind that makes everything feel crisp and frigid. Just beyond the lighthouse, you can see the outline of Fort Preble across the way, a reminder that this harbor was not only commercial, but strategic. Fort Preble was built in the early 1800s as a part of the country's coastal defense system. In the years when the United States feared naval attack, Portland's harbor became something to protect. Cannons once faced outward from these shores, watching the horizon. From Bug Light, it's striking to realize how close the next lighthouse is. These two towers stand within the same harbor, only a short distance apart, each marking a different edge of Portland's coastline. One sits gracefully near the breakwater, and the other farther out where the rocks begin to disappear beneath open water. Together they form a kind of quiet conversation across the Casco Bay. Spring Point Ledge Light sits at the end of a long granite walkway, low to the water, surrounded on all sides by the Casco Bay. It was first lit in 1897, built to mark a dangerous ledge that had caused trouble for ships entering Portland Harbor. The waters here are deceptively complicated, with rocks and shoals beneath the surface especially treacherous in fog or storm. The lighthouse was constructed out on the ledge itself, and its design reflects that purpose. Sturdy, compact, built to withstand waves that could crash over the stones in heavy weather. For decades, keepers lived and worked here in isolation, tending the light through harsh winters and thick coastal fog. Unlike the more picturesque towers, Spring Point was always practical. It existed because this spot demanded it. During World War II, this area became a part of the harbor's defense once again. Fort Williams nearby was active, and the coastline around Portland was watched carefully. The lighthouses continuing their steady work while the world beyond the bay felt uncertain. Bug Point and Spring Point Ledge are two lights guarding the same harbor, but telling two different stories. One graceful and symbolic at the shoreline, and the other rugged and surrounded by sea. If you enjoy discovering places where history still lives in the salt air and the winter light, I'd love to have you along for more. Until next time, stay curious and stay wild.